Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the happiest hour on earth. We are so glad that you are here with us. This is our second episode recording ever since we had our second son. And so both babies woke up like after we set them down. So this is going to be fun for you guys to see how long we last.
Yeah.
With these little dudes who just want to wake up all the time.
Yeah. You never know what to expect. It's always a gamble when you put them down for bed. It's like, how long do we have this time?
Yeah, we did. They did very well. Our first episode back, which was a couple weeks ago, with the scariest Disney attractions. But we are so excited because tonight we are bringing back a topic
that went over pretty well.
Yeah, went over really, really well. Actually, it's our most listened to. It's not our biggest one on YouTube, but definitely our most listened to on podcasting platforms. And so we decided, you know what, we're doing a part 2 of Disney hot takes / unpopular opinions. And this is a crazy one because last time on our first one, we had a lot of listener hot takes come through.
We did.
And
some crazy ones.
Oh, some really intense ones. And this week, I don't know, like people were just afraid to get spicy or maybe just let out all their hot takes on the first one. So this is just our list. And so since we didn't get any listeners, we had to go up a notch. I think some of these might be a little bit hotter than episode 1. So you guys are in for a big treat. What we have to say though, as a disclaimer, don't hate us. If something on this list it really rubs you the wrong way. We're love Disney so much. And I mean, it's pretty much everything to us. And it's just like a great fandom that we are a part of. But we do have some hot takes and I'm really excited to jump into these. So
me too.
Without further ado, should we get this episode started?
Let's go. All right. So we are really excited to talk about our hot takes 2.0 on this episode. We're gonna get started very shortly, but just a quick update on us and everything going on because life is just passing by so quickly. It's a whirlwind, especially with 2 kids. It's
insane.
We thought it was going fast before. Now it's just like every week just flies by. We are currently 6 weeks with our second son now, so it's month and a half in and it's going pretty well, I would say. I mean, it's all kind of still a learning curve. Chris went back to work for a short time and then he's back on paternity leave again. He's kind of breaking up his leave, so we're getting a little bit of extra time all together intermittently for the next couple of weeks, months. I don't know.
It's like halfway through December, which is nice. Yeah.
And then we'll have Christmas. So we are getting like into holiday mode right now. It's kind of like early mid-November, but we're just like ready to get Christmas going in this house pretty soon. Like we're feeling it. Like Halloween ended and we're just feeling the Christmas vibes. So gonna be decorating here pretty soon, which is very exciting. I'm
taking my paternity in like 2-week stints now. And so I'm like, before I'm back to work, which is like end of next week, I'm like, I need to deck this hall.
Yeah. Deck the halls in this house.
Yeah, exactly. With some Christmas stuff. So super pumped to get that started.
Yeah, we're pretty pumped. But that's pretty much the updates. Nothing super exciting. Just adjusting to life with 2 kids and just, trying to sleep when we can.
Yeah, we are definitely a lot more tired. We're kind of faking this energy right now.
Yeah, I feel like
but this is a good episode to keep us up.
It is, yeah. It's pretty exciting.
It's always good to have this break midweek where we talk about Disney, something that we love, and then just get to prepare to release the episode and hear from you guys. It's kind of a nice break from the normal day to day. Yeah, because I mean the normal day to day is like
kind of monotonous.
Yeah, exactly.
It is fun to break it up with some Disney chats with our Disney peeps.
Oh yeah, for sure. Especially something like this. And so should we jump into this?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Go.
Okay.
You go ahead and start us out.
Okay, I'm going to start with number 1. Are you guys ready? Brace yourselves. It's easier to plan a great Universal trip. Now, that's not saying that we like Universal more, but And we have gone only once together to Universal. I had been before with my family.
But things have changed a lot since those times that you went back in the day.
Things have changed a lot at Universal and at Disney.
Exactly.
And so the reason why we brought this up is because my boss actually, if you're listening, shout out.
You know who you are.
Yeah. So he recently went to Universal, and then the next month he went to Disney. And I was trying to explain to him how to get the best like bang for your buck. And so with Universal, he was like, we have one day. I want to make sure I get everything done. And I was like, oh man, well, if you want to do that, like do the Express Pass. I forgot what it's called. I think it's just called the Express Pass.
Yeah.
It's like, do the Express Pass. You pay a lot more. A lot more, especially compared to Genie Plus, but you're going to pay a certain amount, but you know that you show that you get to go to the front and ride that ride, any ride. And that's for any ride. Now with the regular Express one, you get to only use that once. That means that you get to ride pretty much every ride one time, and you know that it's going to be quick. And then you could get the Express Pass Unlimited, which means you could just keep riding that ride over and over. And you just know that you're going to hit the rides that you want to hit. And then when he was going to Disneyland, he was like, okay, so how do I do this? I was like, well, there's like the app, right? The app. And then there's Genie Plus. Genie Plus isn't the actual thing to get you to get on. There's like a thing called Lightning Lanes, and there's Lightning Lanes Plus, when that's like a little extra thing, right? And he was like, so that just brings me like, I just get this like $20 thing or whatever, and then I could just go on all the rides. I was like, no, you have to go into the app and then like book each ride, but you have to wait a couple hours before you book the next one. And like, it was so complicated. And I'm like, oh, Disney, why are you making it so complicated?
Why do you have to be this way?
Yeah.
It's such a pain. And I would be very interested to hear from him.
Yeah, let's bring him on the show.
Was. Like, I would love to know what he thought about one versus the other, because he went so close together and had to plan 2 trips with your help in a very short amount of time. I'm like, I wonder what he thought. Which one was better? Which one was easier?
Yeah, I mean, the nice thing about the Universal one is you can get that Express Pass before and just go to the park, show your Express Pass, get on the ride. This, you have to have the app. You have to make sure that you're booking each ride.
Yeah.
And
a lot of stipulation to it.
It is. And it's like, it'd be different if it was like the free Fast Pass, right? You just go up, and even though that doesn't guarantee you front of the line access on every ride, at least it's so much simpler. If there's a ride you want to go to, walk to that ride, get the Fast Pass, go and return it. Now I know Disney's a little bit different in like, if they did Universal's Express Pass system, it'd probably bog down standby a lot, but it doesn't change the fact that it is technically, I believe, easier to plan a Universal trip for someone and them have like a great experience, because Disneyland and Disney World have gotten really confusing, and it's so much harder trying to talk about it.
More and more, it's gotten harder. Like, it's just, I don't know. I feel like every year there's like something new that you need to like think about in order to get your trip planned, with reservation system and like all the Genie Plus stuff. Like, everything has just gotten harder.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously, if you're a part of that community and you just know how to do all that, it's one thing. But if you're just coming in as like a fresh Disney goer, it's so complicated.
It's like, complicated even for Disney.
I was just going to say, like, I don't ever do like our planning for trips. He always does everything, gets things booked. That's like his zone.
Yeah.
I don't know what I would do if I had to do it. We would be not getting things done on the trips. It's so complicated. So yes, I am definitely in agreement that planning Universal seems much simpler.
Yeah, for sure. Do you want to hit us off with number 2?
Yes. So number 2, we're taking it to the films. I don't think we've necessarily done any movie hot takes yet.
In the first one we did, we think Nightmare Before Christmas is a better idea than it is a movie. I mean, it's a great movie, but we like the idea of it more than the actual movie. Yeah.
Anyways, the other film that we're going to talk about is...
It's a little spicy too.
Yeah. We don't think that Toy Story 1 is the best Toy Story film.
In fact,
yeah, like not at all. I would say it's my least favorite. And I don't know how hot of a take it is. I mean, I don't know how many people
I think it's pretty hot.
it. I mean, it's the first one. Obviously, it's so special because it was made first and, you know, such a huge step in animation. It is a great movie, a great start to all of the films, but they only got better from there, I think.
Yeah, I think in the Disney community or just people that like Pixar movies as well, I think they would probably put 2 as least fave. Or maybe 4. I think 1 became more of a least favorite once we had our kid as well. Once we had our son, because the whole thing of like Sid and his room
like,
and the creepy things, like we just don't.
Room. That part's so scary.
Yeah, so we technically usually stay 2 through 4 because it's a little less creepy. And I think that definitely factors into our thing, but also the animation animation is so great for 1995. Come on, that's incredible.
Yeah.
But it's like slightly janky.
It is a little janky, but good for its time. If you consider what they were working with, it is great. But yeah, it's definitely just not as much like heart. Like, I feel like I can cry in almost any of the Toy Story movies aside from that one. Like, all of them have something super emotional that gets me.
Yeah.
Except that one. I mean, it has been a while since I watched it, but I just don't think so. I think my ranking goes as follows: 3, 2, 4, 1.
Yeah. I think 4 and 2 could probably be interchanged for me. I don't know. Number 2 came out at such a perfect time for us. So even if some people might be like, oh, you know, number 2, whatever. I love it so much because we were perfect age. Bullseye was just the best. Like, I had a Bullseye toy, but we were 93. So that came out in 98, I believe. So we were 5 years old. It was just like perfect.
Yes, which means that ever since then, it's been as if we're growing up with Andy, and now obviously Andy is not in it, but actually, that brings us to a point that almost was another hot take on this list, and then we removed it because we're like, we're already talking about Toy Story, but we might as well just talk about it here. I, for one, have been like kind of frustrated every time they've like released another Toy Story because there's just been so many, and it just feels like
3 was perfect, right?
Yeah, 3 was the best. It felt like that was just the perfect cap. Like, why do you need to have another one? Then I loved 4. Then they talked about doing 5, and it was like, are you serious? That was the most perfect ending.
Yeah,
they couldn't have done anything else. And now they have 5 coming out. Well, I've been frustrated about it, but then we've talked, and Chris brought to my attention that if the movie goes a certain direction, then I will be all for it. Yeah, and I think then it would be the perfect, like, just
full circle moment.
Yeah, which you just go ahead and say.
Okay. So if they do something different for this than what I'm saying, I probably will be mad about 5.
Yeah.
But if they bring it full circle, do another time jump, maybe Bonnie is getting rid of some of her toys. And somehow, actually, no, Woody is traveling. Woody is traveling right now.
To like reconnect somehow.
And so if Woody finds himself back in the same town where the original gang is, and maybe either Woody sees it or the original toys see it, that Andy is now older and has a family. And maybe Woody sees it because he's traveling so much. And then his goal is to tell Buzz and Jesse and all of them that Woody has kids now. And their next mission that Andy has kids now. And their next mission, now that Bonnie is older, is to go back and resurface for Woody. Andy, gosh. Andy Woody. Okay, it's literally the same name. And to show that, and then they get to be reunited with Andy and his kids. And then it ends there. And then I say, no more 6. That's a perfect 1 through 5.
Yeah.
Full
5
circle moment.
Could be the end cap. Just perfect ending.
Us 90s kids Andy went to college when we were going to college. And now
we got kids.
We're 30 and we're having kids. Let's bring it back. Let's do it one more time for those 90s millennials. Come on. Let's just cap it off. Perfect series ever.
Yeah.
And that'd be great. So, I'm fine with Toy Story 5 if that's the route they go.
That is what happens.
If they're still with Bonnie and it's like, I'd be like, okay.
Yeah, it has to have enough heart for it to be worth it for me.
Yeah, for sure.
So we'll see. It remains to be seen. When is it? Next year?
No. I think it's a couple years.
Wow.
Yeah, I think it's a couple years. And Inside Out 2 is also, I think Inside Out 2 is technically the next Pixar movie that we'll receive. I don't know when that is, but we just recently got back into Inside Out. Oh.
Our son asked to watch it the other night. Or no, I guess I kind of like mentioned it and we showed it to him and he was like, yeah, I want to watch it. He loved it. And then he wanted to watch it again the next night.
It's so perfect. And so they have a real opportunity here. I don't like sequels, but they have a real opportunity here with Inside Out 2 to make something spectacular.
Yeah.
So I hope they do it well. Yeah.
I hope so too. We definitely went nuts on those first.
Yeah.
Those took a while.
I want you to get the next one. I want you to get the next one because then I'm going to get this guy.
Okay. All right. So our next one is, sorry if you're a lover of it, but we do not love the new Mickey Mouse.
I like how he called him an it.
Yeah, him. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite. He's not my favorite of the Mickeys for sure.
We have some friends that really like it.
Yeah.
But
yeah, he's a little too chaotic for me.
Cartoon Network-y.
Yes, very Cartoon Network.
Yeah.
And
it's got the Ed, Ed, and Eddie vibes or whatever.
Very much so. Good comparison. I don't know. I've watched enough of it to know, like, okay, I can only handle so much of it, which is sad
like
because
Mickey Mouse
I love my
meets
Mickey.
Happy Tree Friend. What was it called?
Yeah.
Happy Tree. Yeah. Oh my
God. Oh my gosh.
It's like kind of grotesque.
Yeah. Like just all the like crazy expressions they make. And like, it just looks kind of like, I don't know, just not as like quality. Yeah. Like it doesn't have like the lovey-dovey feeling that you get when you see a lot of the previous Mickeys. So I would have to say I'm happy that it ended.
I think it did end. Yeah.
The show itself is like just done, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I wonder how well it went over because I'm sure some people loved or love him that way, but I can't imagine too many did after what we're used to with Mickey.
I'm fine that Runaway Railway is that style because I think it actually fits perfectly because the ride is supposed to be very chaotic and everything. Originally I was like, oh, the one Mickey Mouse ride I would have liked an original Mickey Mouse, but for that style though, it is really fun. But not a fan. Let's get him out of here.
Fan.
We've been actually watching a lot of classic Mickey cartoons from like 30s, 40s.
Yeah, which are so
all the way
fun.
through the 70s. Yeah, which are so great. And so our son loves them. So it's been really fun to like reconnect with those through his eyes,
Yeah. And it makes me so happy that he loves all the old ones because they're such old style, like animation. And
they're so funny. They're so great.
They are hilarious and they're so cute and short. They're just fun to watch. I love them.
Yeah, they're so special. So the next one here, I know this is going to make some people mad, especially a lot of the people in the Disney community, but we're looking for hot takes here. And so I'm going to present this one. Tomorrowland isn't as bad as people make it seem. Now, it's bad. It's definitely it's the worst land in Disneyland and Disney World too, although they have Tron now. But the thing is, I mean, let's talk about Disneyland. It's not great. I mean, you're walking through, you got the dead people mover track above you that nothing happens on. You got just buildings, it doesn't have like the vibe of Adventureland. Like a lot of those buildings look like they're, in the jungle or something like that, right? Fantasyland, the architecture. But it does have some fun rides. It has one of the best rides, Space Mountain. Star Tours, amazing. We're not Astro Blasters fans. That was in our hot takes part 1. I like it. Emily doesn't like it.
I'm the biggest fan.
But it is what it is. And then you have the empty interventions, right?
Yeah.
So it is a bad land, but I think we hype it up a little bit too much within the community. Like I would love if it changed, but honestly, I think the only thing that really needs change, like it could keep a lot of those rides, but interventions has to be changed. I think we definitely need like Tron, something big there, something new and fresh. And the buildings need to look a little bit different, but the rides, like majority of those I feel like could stay. I would be happy with a complete overhaul besides Space Mountain. But if they just like change the theme and the look and bring one new ride, I think it'll be fine. Still a bad land, but
Still
it's
needs
not.
some work.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are just like literally crush everything and just start anew. And I'm like, I don't think it necessarily needs that. Now we've talked to Make It Magical and Market House podcast about like a big epic episode where we give our thoughts on what Tomorrowland should look like and what should change.
Everybody's got their own ideas, I feel like.
They do. Yeah.
Because I think go any which way.
Yeah, well, because the thing is, if you do technology on planet Earth, everything's going to be way too quick for it and it's going to become outdated. That's just the fact. I think focusing on space exploration, and I know that a lot of people are going to space now, but still, and people, regular citizens will be able to take trips to space within the next 5-10 years. But
wild.
I still think that that's an interesting thing to explore when it comes to Tomorrowland, or you do like a retro look on the future. I don't know. There's a lot to be done with it, but I think space exploration can never really get old. I'm going to say that, and then in 10 years, we're all going to be taking trips to space instead of other countries. But I don't know. It's a tough land. It honestly is a tough land.
It is. And it's really hard to know. I'm sure that they're struggling to know what to do with it too. That's why it's been so stagnant.
Yeah. And I know Tron isn't space exploration. That's definitely
it's just futuristic.
But I think that will always be awesome to explore. But I think a lot of people have been let down by Tron Light Cycle run or coaster or whatever.
Just for how short it is.
You know what? Let Disneyland get a few extra seconds. Like they've learned from Shanghai and Disney World. Like, let's just make ours just a little bit longer and more amazing. Yeah. But that's my hot take. That's our hot take.
Yep.
It's bad, but it's not
bad.
horrendous.
Yeah.
As other people would like to make it say. Which if you think it's absolutely terrible, like more props to you. But
yeah.
I've thought about that before in the past. But yeah.
Yeah, we still love our Tomorrowland. It just needs a little help.
TLC for sure.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see what they have to do with it. But next up, this is something I came up with. And it is, I don't know how strongly I'm leaning into it because it's a pretty hot take. But I would say the way things are currently, right now, in 2023, I'm not so sure. It's hard to even say it. It's going to come off really, really harsh, but I'm not so sure Disneyland is worth the price anymore. I personally think that a lot of things have gone downhill in the park over the last couple of years. The quality just isn't what it used to be. And I think a lot of us can agree on that fact.
I think that could also deal with like overcrowding too. Like, not enough cast members to like,
just in general.
There's so many people.
The crowds.
Yeah, there's so many people, but it's hard to maintain when there's so many people because things go unnoticed. And
exactly. So because of all the crowds, which are part of the overall problem, things are just not as good as they used to be. I think that the quality of a lot has just gone down a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah, and to pad that doesn't. I mean, we're the type of fans that
we're gonna go regardless. Yeah, we love Disneyland. It will never like totally not be worth it. I just think that for how the prices continue to go up exponentially every year, and there's no end in sight. It's gonna continue.
Yeah,
they should be maintaining things a little bit better. It just doesn't feel like it's as worth it as it used to be.
Yeah, we've heard from a lot of our friends within the Disney community too. Like they are trying to transition their trips more towards Disney Cruise Lines because they say that cruise lines are still top-notch Disney quality.
It's like
there's
being
a
in the
good
park
cap.
without the crowds.
Yeah. They said there's a good enough cap on the cruise lines that it feels like there's breathing room and everything's at the highest quality, where at the Disney parks, it's just really overcrowded and you're paying and you might not be able to get that much stuff done with the price. Yeah. And we're kind of hesitant to put this one up here. Because that's not to say that we don't love, I mean, we love Disney so much. We're going to go. Like we have to go. We have to go every year. We have have a podcast talking about it. But
we're big fans.
The hardest thing too is that like we talk about the price because it's not worth the price because it's so crowded and quality has gone down a little bit. The thing is, people are going to be going regardless of the price. So it's always going to be crowded no matter how expensive it is. It's so tough.
And more and more crowded as time goes on. So I don't really know what the antidote is.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fix is. I guess there really isn't.
And I think it's also the rise of social media in the parks, which I guess we're a part of the problem too. Or like now that social media is so prevalent, everyone's like taking their cute photos at the parks and everyone has this. I mean, honestly, quote unquote influencers do so much of the marketing for Disney that people just kind of are like, oh, you know, where back then they probably wouldn't even think about it, but they're like, I mean, in a way this sounds weird, but it almost going to do a Disney trip is almost like a status symbol now, I feel like. And so people just have to go there, take the photo.
Yeah.
And that, you know, it kind of sucks too, because it's like you lose a lot of the magic of the parks and you get people there who are just taking photos and not like fully diving into the magic that still is there, but can get lost. And no like shade on anyone who goes and takes photos, because we go take photos. We're content creators, right? We do that, but it's just it's
just when you think about how things were like 10, 15 years ago as opposed to now, I think there was just a lot more magic because everybody like they talk about that also in the Imagineering story.
Yeah, they do.
I love that part. I mean, I love it, but it's also really sad. But I forget who it was that said it, but he said like, you know, their goal is to create something that would, you know, cause people to put their phones down. Like not be focused on taking a photo of it or of themselves, but just focus on, you know, that thing in the park.
Yeah.
Which, I think it's true, you know?
Yeah. It's really interesting, but I hope they find some way to, you know, revert that back. That's why I think it's cool on a Disney cruise line too, because you're less like you don't have. I mean, right? I think you could get Wi-Fi, but you're just not really tied down to your phone, so you're just kind of there living in it.
I think it's pretty remote. I don't think you can really get on your.
I know from our friends who have gone, they're definitely like go offline for a couple of days and weeks and stuff like that. So
I think you need to do that sometimes.
I think so too. So maybe that's the way to go. I think we need to do that soon. Regardless, we're going to be going to the parks in a couple of months. Like,
we'll be in the parks no matter what. But
it is. And on another note too, it's so funny. Like we've done a couple of out of country trips, and I was like, oh man, like I think we're paying less to go out of country than we are to do a Disney World trip or something like that. Especially if you're getting like a Disney hotel, like you could definitely do.
Yeah, when you consider all the costs
for that price
that go into it.
Yeah,
food, and if you do Genie Plus, and hotels, all the things, it adds up quick.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so we're on to the next one. This one. Yeah, this definitely can be true and is a hot take, but I want to like give you a warning that it's not. Let's just jump into it. Okay, Here we go. Hot take. Screen-based attractions can be better than physical attractions. Case in point, Flight of Passage. Now, here we go. We don't like screen-based rides. I think you get tired of it and everything, but they can be if they're done really well, because Flight of Passage, we were more awestruck by that than Rise of the Resistance. Now, we love Rise of the Resistance, especially the overall experience, I think the overall experience of Rise of the Resistance is better than Flight of Passage, but ride wise, nothing has really made us feel like Flight of Passage. And also soaring over California or soaring over the world, it's taking screen based to another level, right? I think a lot of screen based attractions, you're down on the ground, you're doing the exact same thing, or a simulator. Soarin' was so different. Flight of Passage was so different. So they definitely can be better. Most of the times they aren't, but if they think outside of the box, like Soarin', let's actually live, because you're getting that, you're not just sitting in a seat and seeing something, you're getting an aerial experience.
Yeah.
And then with Flight of Passage, you are getting a motion and you're on a single attraction. So it feels more intimate. So if they think outside the box, they definitely can do amazing things with screen-based attractions. But I don't want them to rely on that, because I need physical props. I need animatronics. But there's a possibility that it could be better.
Yeah, they can be. I think it's great to have a little mix of both. Like, obviously, we don't want all screen-based.
Yeah.
Because all the other ones that are physical are incredible.
Yeah.
But it's fun to have some, like, Flight of Passage was unlike anything I'd ever been on.
Yeah.
And it just, every time I think about it, I'm like, I just want to experience it again.
And I want more mix of both, kind of like Pirates Shanghai, right? And a lot of the Fantasyland refurbs that they've done over at Disneyland, physical, but they intermix digital screen based so well that it literally enhances the ride. I want to see a mix of both. That'd be great.
Yeah, agreed. Okay, that brings us basically to our last hot take, which is we think that a lot of Disney projects can be letdowns. Yeah. And that's kind of referencing a lot of what has happened over the last couple of years, I guess. So like Galaxy's Edge and Avengers Campus are what we kind of feel like they promised a lot more, or at least talked about a lot more things, just being a part of those lands than what actually ended up happening. And they haven't really changed anything since they opened. So we're just kind of like waiting around for an extra ride, better ride, or, just more going on in those lands.
Yeah, I think that's a good point, because like we love Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah.
We love it. But I remember they definitely overpromised there a little bit. Said there's going to be robots and aliens walking around just living within the land, and there's going to be, like all these creatures. And you go to Oga's and there's going to be like someone at the bar who is mad because he crashed the Millennium Falcon. Like, what? And then you get there, and I remember the first time I was like, oh, it's empty. And then I'm only seeing people and like stormtroopers and things like that. So we love Galaxy's Edge, but that was an overpromise. And then they overpromised with Avengers Campus 2 with the Avengers ride that never went. Yeah.
Yep. Agreed. I think they want to like hype people up for what they're working on, while not actually like having a plan on how to carry it out, or like not necessarily knowing if it's for sure even going to happen. Yeah. So everybody's kind of like, oh my gosh, like everything sounds so exciting about this. And like, you're just waiting around for it. Yeah. But yeah, it seems like they end up maybe not having the finances or just the ability to create some of these things that they talk about. Yeah. So
I think another one too that just happened recently was so I think there's a difference between like lands, because I think a lot of the lands they build are so incredible and they look fantastic, but then the rides are a little bit of, kind of a little lackluster. Just like Hong Kong this month, November of 2023, are going to be opening up their Frozen land. So they're going to have Frozen Ever After that we have in Walt Disney World, but they also have Wandering Oaken's something sleighs. I forget what it was called, but there's video of that. And if you thought Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train was short, this thing is way shorter. So it's pretty much like it, but there's literally nothing going on in it. And so that's an example of like, oh man, you build this beautiful land, but then this ride is like nothing. And then you're carrying over a ride. I think new lands should get something complete, especially Frozen. It's Frozen. Now I love Frozen Ever After. I love that ride so much. But then you're like, and a new ride that no one's been on. And it's literally just Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, but like a worse version of it. So I'm like, let's actually build something. Like, let's do something new so that people want to go over to Hong Kong and experience, you know, not just the land, but the rides as well. Now, Tokyo Disney Sea going to be having Tangled, Peter Pan, and Frozen. That's a big opportunity there for especially Peter Pan ride and Tangled ride. Come on, I need to see that. So really, let's deliver there. But this also kind of goes to another point that we're going to talk about, is that I think Universal Studios is a little more creative and adventurous when it comes to building rides. Now, that doesn't always mean that they're better rides. I think Disney has a formula that they like to stick to, and a lot of those rides are amazing and great. Universal is more adventurous with their rides, but that doesn't always mean that they're great. I think about the Harry Potter and I think Forbidden Journey, right? I think what it's called. Such a crazy ride system that they built with the screens intermixing with physical environments. Crazy ride system, very adventurous. If you're able to not get sick from it, it's an awesome experience. And like I said, they're more adventurous because they do that. Some people cannot ride that ride without getting sick. So you lose a lot of people there. But then some people get to experience it and have such a fun time, like I did when I went on that ride. But a lot of new rides that they're talking about for Epic Universe sound so adventurous. Are they all going to work? Like the Mario Kart ride, that seems like such a, you know, that's already here in Hollywood. Very different ride system. Some people like it, some people hate it. So they're taking a huge swing. Sometimes it's a strike, sometimes it's a home run. You know, they're just going all in. If you haven't heard those Epic Universe episodes, we did them a while back, actually, just by myself, which is crazy. But listen to those. Let me know your thoughts on them. But yeah, I think they are a little bit more adventurous, where Disney wants to play it a little more safe, and the safety almost leads to more letdowns and more overpromising and under-delivering. So I want them to understand that, because I love everything that they do for the most part. But it's like, if you're going to promise something, like let's make it happen. We've seen them try to do that. Recently, they released some new robots in Galaxy's Edge as like a trial. Hopefully those stick around, because I think that just makes that experience so much more better, or so much better and realistic. You actually feel like you're in the world. Yeah, immersive. And so hopefully they get there. Hopefully they didn't just say, oh, you know what, people like Galaxy's Edge, let's not worry about these. No. Keep putting the money in these like R&D projects to really just flesh out the land, so that when our kids are older and they get to go and they get to remember everything, that they remember Galaxy's Edge as this fully lived in land with aliens and robots and all this stuff. And let's do that for other lands that might be lacking as well. Avengers Campus, let's get that Avengers right in there. You know, work your way up to that promise that you gave us, even though it didn't happen right away. Let's get to that promise. Yeah,
I agree. And that's related to the point that I made earlier about it not being worth the cost, because of all of these over promising and under delivering on certain projects. It's like, you know, if we're going to be paying the kind of money that we are, like, I just feel like things should be done a little bit better.
Yeah, that's true. And I hope that with this recent price increase that happened, you know, a month or so ago, that we do get a Disneyland Forward and some new attractions there, while also, you know, bolstering up everything else. They've had price increases in the past, and it hasn't really gone to that, but we could only hope. So
we'll see.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Crazy episode. I want to hear your guys's. If you have a hot take that we did not mention, write them in the comments below. Let us know what your hot take is. If you agree with any of ours, which, or disagree with any of ours, Let us know in the comments. Let's start a
let's chat about
dialogue.
it.
Oh yeah, it'd be crazy. We're on our way to 700 subs on YouTube. So if you want to be a part of that change and that, that growth, hit us up on YouTube, hit that subscribe button and become one more subscriber towards our dreams of 1,000. No, just kidding. But no, yeah, if you're listening on a podcasting platform, definitely hit the follow button on there so that you don't miss an episode. And then on Instagram, yeah, the happiest hour on earth. Go follow us over there. We have some exciting things happening over there.
Yeah.
And we will be back next week. Do you have anything else to add besides
No, I don't think so.
extinguishing this hot takes episode?
Yeah, it was pretty hot. So let us know what we might have missed, or if you agree with us or disagree. We'd love to get the chat going. So let us know your thoughts on this episode.
Yeah.
And aside from that, we'll see you guys next week.
See you then. Bye.
Bye.